Lisa, more views on the public that you think that they have? What is the thinking that's out there right now?
I don't think the public realizes what a huge problem this is in the United States. I believe that 20% of Americans are going to have a loved one that dies by suicide. So if you're in a room with 20 people, one of you is going to have a loved one that dies by suicide. I think another statistic is that 60% of Americans are going to know somebody that dies by suicide, and those are huge numbers. It is it's very widespread. Depression is a very widespread disease, treatable disease, and again, seeking help is the main component.
Speak to me about the journey of recovery from the thinking that's suicidal. What does that journey look like and feel like? Because you've worked with people who have come back from that point where they were seriously considering suicide to having a very functional life and pretty happy again. It occurs. What does that journey look like?
Can I talk about it for a minute?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think it's overcoming the hopelessness and helplessness. Hopelessness and helplessness are the #1 predictor for somebody to attempt suicide. So just believing that there's no hope of feeling better and getting through this, that there's nobody there to help you, having the realization that there is a future, seeing past the moment is huge, being able to look ahead into an hour from now, tomorrow, having a support system, people that you can talk to. If you don't have friends you can talk to, there are crisis lines such as the local one here in Buffalo through Crisis Services. There's national crisis lines as well. So I think reaching out for that help and having the belief that you can get better and can get through this.
Let's go with those crisis lines here in Buffalo.
The local one here in Buffalo is through Crisis Services, and that number is 834-3131. It's a 24-hour number. There's counselors available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We also have a line dedicated to children and adolescents, the Kids Helpline, and that number is 834-1134.
Could we go over those numbers again? Because people needed to find a pen and paper.
Absolutely.
And the pen may not write. Like I pick up a pen and it won't write. But what are the numbers again?
The main crisis line is 834-3131. And for children and adolescents, the Kids Helpline is 834-1144.
Okay. We're talking about the journey of recovery and thinking.
I think for some people it's a long journey. Depression is not treated overnight. Depression for some people is a lifetime. It doesn't mean that it's not manageable and can't be treated over time, but for a lot of people that journey can be quite long. And because someone is feeling suicidal one day doesn't mean that the next day, if you get the right resources in, that they're better the next day. But there is help over time to alleviate the depression and to give people some of that hope and that help that Lisa referred to, so that they can see some improvement in their life and that they feel more value toward living.
For those who are in a space right now where they're depressed in their thinking, is recovery a cumulative process where you feel stronger and stronger and stronger as time goes by?
As professionals, we hope that that's the case. Sometimes there's ups and downs with it. It certainly doesn't just go straight uphill for people all the time. People improve. Maybe they have a few steps backwards, a few steps forward again until they get ahead, and they get ahead each time. So it does over time. Most people will see significant improvement with treatment.
Linda, it's a good time to reflect again on the state's commitment to helping those who have a suicide issue. Speak to that one more time if you can.
Well, the New York State Office of Mental Health is dedicated and devoted to educating the public and raising awareness to families, healthcare providers, professionals, and just people in the community about suicide and suicide prevention, because as we mentioned today, it can be preventable. And one of our larger initiatives through the Office of Mental Health has been SPEAK, which is Suicide Prevention Education Awareness Kits, which are free to the public.
Very good. Renae, we have about a minute and a half left. I'm going to let you close the show and just speak to the audience, recapping what you think is important and the message that you'd like to share.
Well, I think I'd just like to end with, suicide is such an impulsive act. And my brother, after he took all those pills, he called for help. he didn't want to die, which is what I think, Tracy was talking about with that ambivalence. And, I wonder how many people we lose by suicide in those last seconds don't really want to die. And I guess to survivors out there, I would say you're not alone. A lot of times when you lose someone to suicide, you think you're the only one in the world who's ever experienced such a loss, and you're not alone. And there's help out there for you too. There's support groups and there's online resources. So.
What do you remember with most fondness about your brother?
Right, his smile. He had the biggest, most contagious smile when he was a child, and that's kind of what I carry with me.
Could we see your little tattoo?
My tattoo, yes.
And you had that done too, remember?
I had it done like a week after he died. My sister and I had this in one. He stays with me.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and a special thanks to Renae for sharing your story. It's been a wonderful show. I hope that this information helps you and your family. Medical Matters. See you again soon. For more Medical Matters television shows, go online to medicalmatters.tv.